Hi, welcome to the second impeachment, Karl. Are you enjoying it?
I'm great, although I'm surprised you're giving Nancy Pelosi kudos for having an impeachment outfit when you've had a different impeachment outfit every day for 4 years.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I could start a museum with your T-shirts.
She's a little classier than I am. She can't go with the protest T-shirt. She has to go with the tastefully appointed middle finger.
Yeah, she doesn't wear shirts that you need to put a piece of tape over the U in order to make it friendly for television.
That's what. Hold on, hold the press conference. I have to get the tape over the U in the mother effer.
Yeah,
you say tomato, I say impeachment number 2.
There you go. So Karl, your thoughts yesterday. I mean, it is just I can't even listen to these. Somebody had a great tweet about Kevin McCarthy. We solve our disputes at the ballot box, says Kevin McCarthy, who tried to overturn what happened at the ballot box. He was just on Fox News saying Trump won this election. We're not going to give up. Like, he's no different than the rest of them, right?
He's a joke. He's a joke. By the way, we should not downplay the fact that 10 Republicans voted for impeachment,
right?
Including Liz Cheney. I'm not going to give them kudos for anything else in their career. But given how steadfast Republicans have been in sticking by this president, the fact that 10 voted for impeachment speaks volumes. My understanding is it's also the largest number of same party votes for impeachment that we've ever had in any of the impeachments that we've had in this country. So,
it is the most bipartisan.
I think that people see that as a choice on which side of history they will be on. And look, if Republican senators are looking at this thinking, gosh, if we really pull through on the impeachment and conviction, we can make him not be able to run for office ever again. If that's their motivation so that they can run for president someday, I'm okay with that.
I said that. I've been saying that, Karl. I don't care how they somehow get to the right thing if it's only because it's right for them. And that's what Mitch McConnell's doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Calculating what's best for him and for the Republicans and for raw power. Here's God. I can't. He's just. I love what Adam Schiff said last night about Kevin McCarthy. He's just pure ambition, unbridled by any principles or anything else. Here he is.
What we saw last week was not the American way. Neither is the continued rhetoric that Joe Biden is not the legitimate president. Let's be clear. Joe Biden will be sworn in as president of the United States in 1 week because he won the election. And the presidency in this Congress will face immediate challenges that must be addressed. I stand ready to assist in that effort with good faith, goodwill, and an open hand.
Good faith. I mean, that's like when you catch a toddler with chocolate all over their face and ask them, "Did you eat the chocolate?" And they're like, "No, I had an orange."
No, they ate the blueberry pie. Is what you're saying. And I only speak Sharpton. So if it involves blueberry pie, I understand the analogy. But he's just on Fox News saying Donald Trump won this election fair and square. We're going to fight this. But please. Okay.
You need to do an example of how the alternative universe works at Fox News. That somebody could have a split personality when they're on and when they're off tells you everything you need to know.
Thank you.
Yes.
And by the way, was this just not the height of pathetic that during the impeachment, Trump releases this groveling, in light of more reports of more demonstrations, I urge there be no violence, no law breaking, no vandalism of any kind. That's not what I stand for. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's exactly what you stand for.
Yeah.
And this is
You
not
stood
what
for it
America
when you
stands
ran
for.
for president.
I call on all Americans to help ease tensions and calm tempers. Thank you. Right in the middle of the impeachment. He's just so desperate and pathetic. Yep. So, yes, Trump continues to cling to his false assertion that he won the election, is refusing pleas that he leave office before his term expires. He remains both defiant and sullen. Oh, my God, these stories. He's not the resigning type, said one source. I think he'd rather go out fighting. His West Wing has become a ghost town after resignation and just that it's a COVID hotspot. Trump has remained focused on issuing a wave of pardons. Oh, my God. I mean, he hasn't even assembled a team yet for his impeachment defense.
Right.
So depending on whether he pays Giuliani or not, I guess,
Can you defend a president's impeachment trial from prison?
I don't know.
Good question.
Yeah.
I know,
You know,
that's a
the
fair
interesting thing
question. That's a fair question. Are he and Giuliani going to get indicted first? Are Trump or Giuliani going to get indicted before he can even be convicted in the Senate? Right?
There's a buddy film that absolutely nobody would pay to watch. You know, I think the big thing that we're missing here, though, is why are, with him on the way out the door, if he was just on his way out the door, I think you would not see any Republicans turning and running on him. But the fact that Mitch McConnell is flirting with it and there are other Republican senators who are flirting with it tells you one thing. There's something else to come. They all know of all the things that are waiting for Trump after he leaves office that are not federal, that he can't self-pardon, that he can't resign and have Mike Pence pardon him for. All of those investigations that have been sitting there waiting for him not to be president.
Yeah. No, well, and also, Carl, as we keep saying, more, is it up, Travis, 30 House members have signed a letter asking for this investigation as to whether some of their fellow members were involved. We obviously have reports of them doing reconnaissance tours the day before. How about, was it Ayanna Pressley? The panic buttons were ripped out of her office. The help buttons. I mean, there was a lot of suspicious stuff that, and there's unconfirmed reports. I was thinking that actually, Chris and Travis, we talked before, but there's got to be cameras in the Capitol. There's got to be surveillance footage there's unconfirmed reports about which representatives were giving these tours the day before.
That's part of what Nikki was talking about last night on Rachel. She was saying that she's requested the visitors logs so they can track, because regardless if you were supposed to be there or not, if you were taken in there with the congressperson, they should have checked you in. They should have. There should be records of this.
That's where you get a sticker to wear.
You get a badge.
In the tour.
Yeah.
And you have to check in with Capitol Police.
Yeah.
The other thing I'd note is that, we've talked about how it's been since 1812 since somebody breached the Capitol. I worked in the office where the horses came in from the British. I worked for Louise Slaughter on the Rules Committee in the Capitol building. The fact that, and if you know the building, that's a kind of around the way of getting into the building. And, because they couldn't get in anywhere else. And the fact that these folks were able to get in raises lots of questions. We've all seen video online. We've all seen, these Republican members of Congress being praised for giving tours and being of assistance. So investigate it all. And there's a process for handling for handling members of Congress whose behavior is not befitting of a member of Congress. And there are also legal avenues for handling this too.
Well, Rachel Maddow told that story too, that she's been there 20 times, gotten lost every time. I mean, that it's in itself that they seem to know where they were going and where
I worked there, and we get turned around in a hallway. And to give you an example of how difficult it can be, remember that there was a brave Capitol Police officer who redirected traffic, and nobody seemed to notice that he was taking them away from the Senate chambers. It is not the easiest building to navigate, especially since.
Are you talking about that? That guy is a hero, the African American Capitol policeman who obviously led them deliberately in the opposite direction of the Senate, where he knew that he looked, to where the Senate door is, and led them, at his own peril. I mean, there are heroes in this story too, right?
Yeah. I mean, members of Congress and staff who helped Republicans and Democrats get out of the chambers and into safety, and the ones that were not part of the rescue, the ones that may have facilitated this or are continuing to undermine security at Congress. AOC was pretty compelling. You guys watch her, Instagram thing. She's not going to give details, but said, I was in a very close encounter where I feared for my life. And she said, I didn't feel safe with fellow members. I thought they would tweet my location, because she's a particular target among others in the squad, right? And some of those pictures, Carl, is it Jason Crow is the former serviceman, congressman? But I can't remember which, he has his hand on a female member of Congress who's just like, you can see, just terrified and laying on the ground. And, I just think that we're getting our minds more and more around how really
how unbelievably tragic this almost was. As AOC said, half of them were almost assassinated. Like the fact that you know, they're parroting the same talking points on the floor yesterday, Republicans, was just mind blowing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the ship has sailed. Okay, President Trump is at a 66% disapproval level, his highest ever, his lowest approval rating ever. It finally cracked, and these people are staying on the ship.
Yeah.
You know, they're watching all the other passengers on the Titanic get into lifeboats.
Yeah. Chris, you probably forgot now. I'm sorry. I think you wanted to say something.
Oh, no. What I was saying is that, you know, I'm sure the FBI and every other investigative agency is combing over all of that camera footage from the Capitol. They're just not telling us about it because, you know, I have total faith in they're going to do their job, and we don't need to know the ins and outs of what footage they're looking at.
Well, it's a little, again, I'm going to make my same reference, Chris, and I don't care what you say. You don't need to be a Jessica Fletcher to go, what?
Are you really going to cite a serial killer like Jessica Fletcher as
the
monster? I mean, watch that show again. Everywhere she went, there was a murder of somebody close.
Right? And she seemed to get there a little too fast, Carl. I understand. But my point is, first of all, once again, what are you doing giving tours when they are banned during COVID? And a little coincidental that happened to be the day before this insurrection, where a bunch of people really seemed to know where they were going a little too much. I mean, it's not hard to piece together.
These are people that won't even wear a mask in a confined space.
Right.
Oh my God, Carl! I said yesterday, I don't think I've ever been so angry watching that footage. I just, if I was in there, I mean, seriously, someone should have told them, get the F out. These are your people. Why would you be afraid of this mob? You incited them. You go out there. Don't stand here with us getting effing protection when you won't put on an effing mask to protect us. Get the F out of this room right now if you don't put a mask on.
One Eagle Eye reporter from Twitter noticed that you could probably predict the impeachment vote based on whether you could see a member's nose or not.
True.
Yeah.
Whether they were wearing
You're
a mask
absolutely
properly.
Right.
It's just, but again, it is talking about the power of doing the right thing. We didn't think we'd be sitting here, Carl, talking about the fact that he may well be convicted in the Senate, right?
Yeah.
Well, if they're smart, that's what they'll do. They'll figure out a way to get to that 2/3. Look, there are political ramifications to that as well. Any of these Republican senators who want to run for president, they better hope that he gets impeached, because if he tries, they're going to have a very difficult path if he gets to run again. So vote for your self-interest, vote for the Constitution, vote for the rule of law. I don't care.
Mitch McConnell obviously leaked it, that he hates him and he thinks this is the only way, a good way to purge him from the party. He obviously said on record he's TBD on how to vote on this. Right?
That was his trial balloon to see how people would react to him saying that.
Right.
No,
but I'm just saying it's because it's in his interest and the party's interest.
Yes.
I mean, Carl, you're a campaign strategist. Mitch McConnell is right about one thing. Trump lost them the Senate. They've lost the White House, the House, and the Senate. I mean, the fact that we're getting two senators from Georgia, Democratic senators from Georgia that are going to, who have made Mitch McConnell lose his job.
Democratic senators from Georgia.
That's right.
Progressive.
Yes.
I mean, Georgia is the new Virginia.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Well, I get to be continued, as they say.
If anybody out there, we are celebrating the departure of Betsy DeVos this weekend on Saturday.
Yes.
Her final,
every Board of Education
resignation. People can go to byebyebetsy.com and we're having a little powwow on Zoom. It's going to be fun.